Уважаемый господин президент, дорогие друзья, мы очень рады вас.
Esteemed Mr. President, dear friends, we are very glad to meet. I would like to thank you once again for your decision to take part in the events on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the victory in Great Britain. I remember our constructive and useful conversation when in 2023 you first came to our country to participate in the Russia-Africa Conference in St. Petersburg. Your visit to Russia today to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the victory is very symbolic and rejects the friendly nature of Russian-American relations. I would also like to mention your contribution to the defeat of German Nazism and its satellites. About 30,000 residents of today's Burkina Faso fought in the forces of the anti-Hitler coalition in the formations. France fought in the formations under the movement of the legendary son of the French nation General Charles de Gaulle, manifesting a common goal of fighting terrorism and extremism. We will continue to help the Republic to reverse the law and constitutional order, helping to destroy the radical groups remaining in various oblasts of Burkina Faso. Over the past 2 years, we have made great progress in the development of cooperation in various oblasts. At the end of 2023, after more than 30 years of rest, she resumed her work at the embassy in Russia in Olgadug. Regular political dialogue has been established, although the level of turnover is still very modest, but it is still growing and this is a good trend. Of course, it must be maintained. We must work together to further improve economic ties and diversify cooperation. Useful in this way were the economic days of Burkina Faso in Russia, which were attended by a high-ranking Burkina delegation in the LDS with the Prime Minister. The issue of creating an interproperty commission is being processed. At the end of last year, a profile working group was already built. We will help your country in preparing national workers. In 2024-2025, the amount of Russian economic credits for Burkini residents is increased by more than twice. This year, it is ready to accept 27 more students from your country as part of the federal budget. In total, we have received about 3,500 Burkini students. Conducting cultural and humanitarian associations will cause the Russian house operating in a Wagjujugu since 2024, where, in particular, the development of the Russian language was organized. Bolshaya potential for cooperation in the field of health protection and sanitation. Quite recently, on September 24-25, Mrs. Popova arrived in Alkajuka, ready to conduct joint scientific research, develop laboratory infrastructure, and teach specialists. We attach priority importance to the presentation of the humanitarian community of Burkina Faso. Last year, they fixed you on an unconditional basis of 25,000 tons of wheat. This month in Ouagadougou, they will attract the majority of other sales. They value secret coordination with Burkina Faso on the world stage, including the United Nations and other international organizations. Thank you very much.
Здравия желаю, товарищ президенте.
Health, Tavarish President. I am proud of you. I am honored to be here, to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Grand Guerre. I am here, to your joy and remembrance, to send you my invitation, and you have a symbol of what you are. And then, I have to admit that I learned a lot. This session, which I was able to watch before breakfast yesterday, the cultural session, made me see that history and culture are the basis for building a strong and secure army. We could all see how Soviet society allowed us to be in a free world today. So I would like to thank you for this invitation, because these are moments that will allow us to think about our situation and think about new perspectives. In this regard, I believe that the areas that are in front of us today do not have to stop us. Areas are good things that we have to experience. The leading when is that for some time Russia is developing the internal mechanism that is in front of the international scene. Considering these lessons that we have learned here, and also about the apparatus, I would like to say that I was pleased when I saw how things developed in front of us, especially from the mythical T-34 times that were winning in Great Britain, to today's modernized times. How much of the Russian army has been modernized? How much technology is involved in this? We would like the cooperation with us could be strengthened in an exponentially way. Thank you very much for what is happening for us, especially for these ambas that were taken in Burkina Faso and which will be strengthened. Yesterday, I spoke to the University of Chemistry. I said that the goal that we will focus on after defense and security is the goal of education. This is the goal that interests us the most, especially science. The Russians must help us in the formation of the youth, especially in the scientific school, so that we can develop a machine here, a machine that works with the army, or a machine that works with industry. Because this is the only way we can develop in Africa. Today's war is a manifestation of the Nazis for us, because the therapeutics that are today are not terrorists, but imperialism. These are our countries that are interested in what we are fighting. So the end of this war, to get a strong army and to start developing our land. This is the essence of our struggle. We are waiting for you, first of all, to build your defenses. Because cooperation, as we say, very often in Africa, we like to have a list of questions. We know that you are in a special military operation. We understand all the doubts. And in the future, which is uncertain for the whole world, we can understand it. So we will not be here, maybe, to ask about many things, to ask for help or anything else. But the help that you can get us is first of all this transfer of knowledge that we want. So we want to, and see in what perspective we can get money to our students to study here. And thirdly, how can the universities here duplicate themselves in Burkina Faso, especially the one I visited, and also many other universities in the science school? How can they be duplicated in Burkina Faso, with all the necessary laboratory to teach young people practically, and so that we can be at the heart of our own development? This is the most important need in today's context, to transform everything that we have on the ground, to produce many things ourselves. Burkina Faso must be a hub where many young Africans will come and learn science, because here in Russia,
Tel qu'on le dit, très souvent en Afrique, on aime avoir beaucoup de demandes. Nous savons que vous êtes dans une opération militaire spéciale. Nous comprenons tous les défis qu'il y a. Et le lendemain, qui est incertain pour le monde entier, nous pouvons comprendre ça. Donc nous ne serons pas là, peut-être à demander beaucoup de choses, à demander de l'aide ou quoi que ce soit. Mais l'aide que vous pouvez nous octroyer, c'est surtout ce transfert de connaissances que nous voulons. Et donc nous souhaitons avoir plus de bourses et voir dans quelle perspective nous pouvons nous-mêmes donner des bourses à nos étudiants pour étudier ici. Et dans un troisième temps, comment est-ce que les universités ici peuvent se dupliquer au Burkina Faso, notamment celles que j'ai visitées. Et aussi, il y a beaucoup d'autres universités dans le domaine des sciences. Comment on peut les dupliquer au Burkina Faso avec tous les laboratoires nécessaires qu'il faut pour former de manière pratique nos jeunes et que nous puissions être donc au cœur de notre propre développement. Donc c'est la demande essentielle que nous avons actuellement dans le contexte que nous vivons pour pouvoir transformer tout ce que nous avons sur place, produire beaucoup de choses nous-mêmes et que le Burkina Faso soit un hub où beaucoup de jeunes Africains vont venir et apprendre aussi la science. Parce qu'ici en Russie, vous avez